some little bit of trivia about this movie. It wasn't originally called Blink Twice. It was called something else that I can't say in the first 10 seconds of this video. But let's just say the director, Zoe Kravitz, said females would not have watched this movie if it was called that. Chase Lee Hawke here at the Blue Futon reviewing Blink Twice, and you're probably wondering, Chase, what is the name of the movie? It was supposed to be Pussy Island, and of course, it's now Blink Twice. So what's about? Pretty simple premise. You have two friends that are kind of, in the dumps, not the best job, but they meet Slater King, and he's a billionaire, and they're going to go to his island. However, it's like an Epstein's Island, or is it? You've seen the trailer. You know shenanigans will ensue, and shit will go down in probably the most negative ways possible. So, like this film. I thought it was a pretty good film. I do think there's some glaring flaws with this, with some of the writing, and some of the third act actions, which you're like, I don't know if that was supposed to be told that well. Okay, that made no sense. I don't know if it was supposed to be, okay, you can say told that well, or such a perfect ending for some characters, because the whole point of this movie is forgive and forgetting, right? And focusing on the forgetting. The problem is the reason they're forgetting, I don't know if they explain all of it. It's supposed to be there for there. But then there's also I wouldn't say a relapse, but a drug that makes you do other things. So I don't know. Anyway, the third act kind of went off the rails, not in like the bonkers way, but it's more of like, I want to say conventional, but conventional. But when we talk about the positives, I do think the editing is fantastic in this movie. I mean, that's the thing. You've seen the trailer. You know exactly what's going to happen. So if you're expecting these twists and turns to occur, unfortunately, it's not going to happen because you've seen the trailer. And you're probably going to be like, Chase, and don't show the trailer. Well, I'm sorry. That's what I do in these things. And if you've already seen the trailer, you probably have already seen it. Let's put it that way. Anyway. Editing, fantastic. How it's edited is really well. These crazy, Blink Twice flashbacks, which, if you're going to do Blink Twice, how they do the credits, the title screen in this one, blink it twice, not just once. But anyway, they have good shots like that. I think the cinematography looks really strong. The music is good. And the overall acting of the characters like Cris and Slater, Channing Tatum, Naomi Atkins, I know I'm saying her name completely wrong, but she also played Whitney Houston, did a fantastic job there. Haley Joel Osment's in this movie, and others as well. So, good acting overall. The first two acts I really dug, because even though you didn't know, you knew what was going to happen, it was still shot and edited and had the good tension, because there were some characters where you see these random flashbacks and you kind of want to get to know them, or you want to get to know Channing Tatum's or his sister's background. You kind of get a glimpse of it, but it's not as full force as I want it to be. And let's start going the negatives of the third act. And that's where I think they didn't want to give sympathy for some characters, and I think that's the wrong thing to do. Because let's just talk about it bluntly, okay? All the dudes on the island, we talk about diversity, that wasn't diverse. So if we're going to bitch and moan about diversity, we're going to have a two-way street. Yes, probably most of the people on Epstein's Island were probably white dudes, guilty of that, because they're fucked up. But I don't think it has anything to do with race. But when watching this movie where you see the girls kind of being like, I hate to say it, that Peter Griffin, meme, where you see that Peter Griffin meme where it's like, oh, what shade? You get that for the females, but you kind of don't get that for the males. So, like I said, I hate double standards. I hate hypocrisy. So if we're going to do that, we can't have it one way. Okay, so there's that. Very, very glaring flaw. Like I said, if every movie's going to do that with like Wonka, with, the little black girl in that time, or you have that new Amazon show like My Fair Lady, which the King of England back in the day is a gay black handicap. Or you watch Bridgerton back in the day. So that's what I'm getting at. Okay? Can't have it both ways. All right, in the third act, I don't know if they knew how to shoot the violence. And what I mean by that is a lot of the violence was happening off screen and you see the aftermath. I'm a sucker for revenge films. Last House on the Left. I Spit on Your Grave. If shit is going down this way, I want to see fucking carnage. But it's interesting because it makes you wonder, do some of these characters, Christian Slaters, Haley Joel Osment, know what's actually occurring? Because there is one character you know for a fact it doesn't, and he never did anything wrong, but his character arc dies. And I feel like that is a little disappointing because we are sacrificing the good people but keeping the bad people alive. I understand why they did that for the story to be the oh shit moment, but it still kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So it is what it is. And overall, twist at the end with his red rabbit, I don't know if I believed it so much because it's almost too perfect of a quote-unquote twist that you're like, you kind of put it in the unbelievable category. The reason I say that is, even though there's this whole thing about not remembering, it's believable. It truly is. But then they start, piling on the layers of, oh, red rabbit. Oh, this other rather blue thing you put in the vape pen. And it's piling on. And it's almost, like I said, too perfect. And at a point, it's like, okay, where's this going to stop? Has no one ever questioned this? Because if she's going to do this, right? And people in the past know her, there's got to be something to that. Also, the debauchery, if I say that right, of, I just realized I could never do that lifestyle, period, end of subject. Seriously, no. So, but overall, I think Blink Twice is a good directorial debut. It's shot well. It's edited fantastic. I do think the first two acts were very good. Even though you know what's going to happen, I was still, my ears were perked of like, ooh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? However, I do think the third act kind of goes off the rails and not in the best way. Too perfect for some characters. And when I say I want to see carnage, don't just show me the aftermath. Yes, there might be, you see the swinging motions, but at a point, with that swinging motion one, you see, it's then you think about the memory of some of these people, it's a little fuzzy because you don't get some of the satisfaction, or it starts to not click as well as you think. Because would the sister really anyway, don't overthink it now. I'm overthinking it, and I think that might be a very negative thing. So Blink Twice will receive Our Pussy Island a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 70%. So let's see the critics and user scores gave this one. So you have critics a 78% with 95 of them. Nothing for the critic consensus or the popcorn meter. I don't know if I'm going to call it the popcorn meter. It sounds horrible. A bold and memorable debut that thrusts Zoe Kravitz into the turf of directors to watch. Blink Twice is a live wire of a film. Sure, I guess so. Yeah, I actually guess so. So I was looking at the Crow reviews and oh no. Anyway, 78. 70. Chase Luck here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing, Blue Futonopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'm going to watch Tate tomorrow, week from a month, and year from now. Every one of you. Peace and love, and just be good. Don't be douches.